It's been a minute. I realize it's been about 3 weeks since the last time I posted a video. Ugh. So it's Beer Guy here. As always, why would I call myself Beer Guy if I didn't have a fucking beer in my hand? Still got 12 more. I don't know how much more I'm going to drink tonight. I'm trying to make it so that I can have a decent amount enough left tomorrow, so I don't gotta spend any money to buy more beer tomorrow. If at all possible. Running on a small budget here. Any fucking way. It's been a busy couple weeks, you know. My dad got out of prison. That's about 3 weeks ago now. He got out of prison 3 weeks ago, and we've hung out a couple times here and there. He's just getting settled in. That's all. Can't expect too much from him at this point in time. So, dealing with that, dealing with shit going on at home, I think I've talked before about the shit going on upstairs with my uncle and his wife and my cousin and all that garbage. And I just, I guess we squashed all the bullshit for the time being, at least. His wife is going through some shit right now. I won't get into the specifics, but I will say that mental illness is a fucking bitch. I know that firsthand. But to see someone else that struggles with it in the way that you do, but doesn't show it until they're at their weakest moment. Basically, she came to me today and she apologized to me for her half of that argument the other month, and she got pretty emotional about it. She was just like, I don't want the last thing that I said to you to be a fucked up thing, And I'm not gonna lie, it hit me. It hit me in the feels, so to speak. And I ended up apologizing for my half of the argument as well, and hugged it out and all that good shit. I talk shit. I say a lot of fucked up things, but it's family, and they have done good shit. As much as they've pissed me off in certain aspects, they've also done good shit. And I sit here and I talk shit about how when they're gone, when they leave this place, I'm never going to have anything to do with them again. I know it's not true. Because first of all, it's not true because first of all, I have a really hard time sticking to my word when it comes to cutting people out of my life. There's only maybe 3 people in my life that I have cut that I feel no remorse for cutting, and I don't regret it, and I don't want to go back on it. I mean, I might see them in passing from time to time and say, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" But it'll never be the same. We ain't gonna keep in touch outside of those situations, and I don't feel any fucking remorse for that. Two of those people, it was easy to cut them because I barely fucking knew them. I mean, they were family, but I hardly fucking knew them. I, you can be blood. You can be blood. Hold on, let me open this beer. You can be blood, but that doesn't mean shit as far as family is concerned. And these people were blood, but I didn't fucking know them. To me, they weren't family. There's a lot of people in the family that I don't know well enough to look at and say, hey, you guys are my family. They haven't done anything for me. A lot of them I haven't seen since I was 3, 4, or 5 years old. Where the fuck you been all these years? Especially after my mother died and my father went to prison. How many opportunities did you have to reach out to me and say, hey, I want to help you. I know all the shit that's going on, and I would like to reach out and try to be there for you. Not a lot of people did that, So these two people in particular were two of the people that didn't do that. And prior to all that shit, prior to my mom dying and my dad getting arrested, I didn't know them all that well anyway, you know. So it's easy to cut them out. The third person is easy to cut because he's a fucking lunatic and he fucked over one of our family members in the worst way possible. I won't get into the details on that either, but if you're going to screw your family member, there's no better way to screw your family member than screwing your family member's wife. Let's just put it that way. No names mentioned, no specific relations mentioned. Let's just leave it at that. So that's strike one. Strike two was he was a fucking asshole. Strike three was, when mom died, he didn't bother to show up to the funeral, to communicate with me. His wife was a bitch, because he married the woman that he stole from said family member. She was a bitch. He married her. That made things worse. And, I knew this kid since I was a kid myself. We grew up together. We're 6 months apart. He's technically my uncle, but I'm 6 months older than him. So we always joked that, the way we grew up and the distance between our births overruled the fact that he was technically my uncle, and it was more like we were brothers. And goddamn if my mother didn't take him in under her wing and treat him like her own fucking son. We were literally like fucking brothers. He was here all the fucking time growing up. And my mother treated him like a second son. And she died. I heard from him once, 2 days after she died. He was like, "Oh, I heard through the grapevine that mom died. Is that true?" I said, "Yeah, it's true." I explained to him what happened and all that good shit, and not really good shit, but I explained the situation, and I kind of doled it out because we were texting, and I didn't want to spend all that time texting the whole story. So I was like, hey, if you want to know the full story, call me. He was like, well, yeah, I'll give you a call. I didn't hear from him for another 6 fucking months. When I heard from him, all he wanted to talk about was himself and his own achievements, his own accomplishments. Mom came up in the conversation. But he didn't ask me how I was doing as far as dealing with losing her, or how my sister was dealing with losing her. He was, he was selfish. And that was the last time I talked to him. And it has been almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in April 2020 since the last time I talked to him. And I grew up with this guy. Like I said, I'm 30 years old. We're 6 months apart. So I was born in March. He was born in September of 1989. 6 months apart. We're both 30 years old. We were best fucking friends growing up. We were like fucking brothers. Literally straight to the fucking point. And I haven't talked to him in almost 5 years. And I don't want to talk to him. He's the third person in the family that I can cut and not feel any shame for cutting him out, and not feel an urgency to go and turn around and change my mind and be like, yo, what's up, man? And restart the whole process all over. And that's how it is. You restart the whole process all over when it comes to people like that. A lot of people, they fuck you over and you say, I'm done, and you cut them out for a certain amount of time, and then you turn around and your feelings get the better of you. And it's a natural thing to go through. It is. It's not, I can tell you it's not anything to beat your own ass over, but a lot of people will still beat their own ass over it. Fact of the matter is, it gets easier once you get past a certain amount of time. It gets easier. Or forget time. Depending on how bad the burn that this person gave you is, that makes it easier to let go. And this was to me, I don't know, maybe to some other people it might not seem that deep, or it might seem deep but not quite as deep as I make it seem. To me, this was fucking personal. This was fucking deep. This was like, we're brothers. She was as much of a mother to you as she was to me. You've been an asshole in the past as it was. I've overlooked all that bullshit time and time again. But when it comes to this, I can't overlook it. This is too deep. This is too deep and too personal. And when it comes down to that makes it a lot easier to cut that person out. The deeper the burn, the easier it is to push them away. And you know what? The other thing that proves too that, he didn't care as much as he acted like he did, he didn't bother fucking trying to reach out to me. He didn't bother trying to figure out why I was pissed at him, or why I wouldn't talk to him, or trying to push to keep that connection intact. He didn't do any of that. I talked to him that last time in April of 2015, and I never heard from him again. I decided that day when I hung up the phone that I was never going to call him again. But he could have called me, or emailed me, or hit me up on Facebook easily and been like, yo, dude, a couple weeks later, a couple months later, a couple whatever later, and been like, yo, what's up? Never happened. So either one of two things happened. Either he knew that I was done. Let's say one of three things happened. Either he knew that I was done and he just didn't give a shit. Number two, he didn't give a shit at all. Or number three, I don't know. And number three, I guess he could pull up the excuse that I blocked him on Facebook. But there's other ways to reach me. This is a big fucking family but it's a big family of people with big fucking mouths. If he wanted to reach me, I changed my number, but he could have reached out to anyone in the fucking family and got my new number off of anyone. Not all, well, maybe not off of anyone, because, I don't talk to everyone, so not everyone's gonna know my number. But I do know the people that still communicate with him, and I know that those people are some of the biggest fucking mouths in the family. So if he really wanted to get a hold of me, whether I blocked him on Facebook or not, all he had to do was reach out to any one of those people that knew my number and had big ass fucking mouths. And there were a few of them. I know damn well he was getting a lot of information off of them. And not, I can't even really be mad. I can be mad at them, but I can't, because they gave the information away, but they didn't do it instinctively. They did it because they're naive and they just, I don't want to say they're stupid, but for lack of better terms, they're fucking stupid. They just don't fucking think before they speak. You tell them the shit that goes down, and you tell them the way you feel, and they act like they identify with you. But the second the person you're telling them about turns around and says, "Hey, can I have Tom's number?" Yeah, sure. Here you go. Not even a, "Hey, let me check with Tom first to make sure it's cool," or not even a, "Oh," not even a lie, not even a, "Oh, I don't have it." And lying is bad, but not when it comes to knowing that Tom doesn't want this person to have his fucking phone number. You know? Jesus Christ. I'm parched. My throat is dry. I am parched. No, not really, but fuck it. When it comes to beer, I'm parched. Anywho, but I'm gonna cut it here because we're already coming up on 18 minutes, and I don't know how long I have in videos. I don't know how long my videos can be before YouTube doesn't let me fucking post them. I'm looking for an alternative to YouTube too, because YouTube is just getting ridiculous with their rules and shit. But that's a whole other video in itself. We'll talk about that, I don't know, some other fucking time. Anyway, the holidays are coming up. Thanksgiving just passed. I meant to make a video of Thanksgiving. I didn't do it, but Christmas is coming up. New Year's Eve is coming up. New Year's Day is coming up. I don't even know if you can consider that a holiday or not, but more videos on the way. Real life bullshit, just random things. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fucking post my fucking shit. And fuck you, YouTube, if you got a fucking problem with me fucking cursing. Yeah. Happy fucking holidays, bitch.